What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. I did make a longer-term Bitcoin video recently today, but I want to make this video short-term kind of price predictions, what we're going to do in the coming days, weeks, maybe the coming month, right? If we look at the daily RSI here, you can see we're pretty low. At the moment, we're pretty low. We're at about a 36, okay? The last time we were this low or anywhere near this low was back in October when we were down here, okay? Below the green line, at a low point nonetheless. That was the last time we were like this low in the RSI. Over here, we were a little bit lower, also at a relatively low point. So whether we find support here, whether we find support there, we are getting very close to a low, okay, with Bitcoin. If it's not here, the next likely target would be probably around 87K. That is the low point of this range right there. And it's very possible that Bitcoin could go to 87K. I wonder if we can find an example of this from like any cycle. You know, I mean, if you look at this, right, like you look at this before you had this move down here, okay, this was your support. This was like the base of this consolidation phase before you had your move down, and look at where you found your low, basically right at that line, right? Not, it was a little bit below, but still basically right at that line. Here's a little contestation to that, right? Here was a low point of this upward sloping consolidation phase. You didn't pull all the way back down there, to be completely fair. You know, I was just trying to find examples of that, I guess. Here, right, you got this little, you moved up and you had a little consolidation there. You found your low basically right at that consolidation phase right there, right? I'm just trying to find examples of that, and I'm sure we could find plenty of examples of something like that, but just to show that it is completely possible, guys, that we could move down here and still be fine, by the way. Still be fine. Likely, if Bitcoin went down here, we'd have a very immaculate rip off of that, right? I don't know if we do. I personally don't know if we do go down there. The RSI certainly does look bearish enough, but I'm not convinced because we very well could turn around at any given point here. We look at the 4-hour RSI. You got a low here, a higher low there. We look at the price action. You got a low. It's not a lower low. It is a higher low. That's bullish convergence, but it's a pretty close low. It's like a double bottom, if anything. What you did too was you had a very immaculate move down here, okay? Very significant move on a 4-hour period. 5% down in a 4-hour period for Bitcoin. That's a lot. As you progress down, you died off in volume, and here you are trying to make your next run to break out lower with even less volume. And then you've also got higher lows in your RSI. If this was flipped, if you were trying to make it like literally, if we flipped it right here, right? Invert the scale. If it were, you were trying to move up and you had a double top like this and your volume was dying off, and instead of your RSI showing higher lows, you were getting lower highs like this, right? This would look bearish. To me, this looks pretty damn bearish, right? So I think that Bitcoin, again, if it's not at its low, it's very, very close to finding its lows. It's at areas that it's found support time and time again. But if it wanted to go lower, you know, you're at 93.8K now. It is possible. Just prepare yourselves. We could see an 86 to 87K price for Bitcoin. It's very possible. I'm not expecting that. I'm addressing it as a possibility. I'm not expecting it. I'm addressing it as a possibility. That is not where I think the price is going. It could happen. I accept it as a possibility, but that's not where I think the price is going. Okay, now that I've said that painstakingly so, you understand that I'm saying, yes, the price could drop down here. No, that's not what I'm expecting. But if it happens, I'm not going to be thrown off because, again, the price can go down here. It's a possibility, but we're not expecting that, right? I'm expecting that we find support here and we move up, but just in case it doesn't move up from here and it moves down, we're prepared for that mentally because I've said it so many times, right? So if that happens, you're not going to panic sell. You're not going to shit your pants. You're not going to sell all the coins that you've been accumulating over the past weeks, days, months, and then sell at the absolute bottom. No, you might buy more, or you might just close your eyes and be like, you know what? I don't like that this move happened. C-Zar said it was possible. We didn't expect it to happen, but it happened anyways. And now that it's happened, we know we're at the low and we're about to rip. So I'm just going to close my eyes and blink, and then we'll be back above the prices that we're at now even. So not expecting the price to go below 90K. I'm not expecting the price to go to 87K. But it's possible. Okay, I'm just saying that it's very possible. It's also, to me, it seems more likely just what we're doing here with the price action, where we are in the price action, where we are in this range overall, and the volume and the RSI. It would make sense we find support here and we continue to move up. That's my genuine opinion. We look at the 3-day time frame. 3-day time frame looking pretty bullish as well, actually. it looks like really what you're in is some kind of broadening wedge, right? At the top here, it's a broadening wedge. And these patterns, are they neutral? Do they break out to the upside? I think it depends on which direction they're sloped. Let's look it up. Let's look it up right now. ThepatternSite.com for any and all aspiring technical analysts. Chart patterns, yeah, we want to do that. Latest releases. Oh, that's cool. Hell yeah. Ooh. Ooh, what? We got new patterns. Thomas Bulkowski's got new patterns for us. That's exciting. That's cool. Hell yeah. We're looking for broadening wedges though. Cool. Hell yeah, man. You're going to hear me. I'm going to look these up. I'm going to talk about the 2 dance initial release inside day. I'm curious. I'm not going to do that in this video, but that's like you guys might want to learn TA or might want to learn what my predictions are on certain things, right? So you watch these videos for that. This is me. I want to watch the video of this after I'm done making this. So I want to look that up. But broadening wedge, because I'm a TA nerd. Broadening wedge, descending. It's ascending actually. Broadening wedge, ascending. And man, this is bright. I'm going to turn down the brightness. I'm sure it doesn't turn down y'all's brightness. I don't know if it does. It'd be weird if it did. I don't think that would affect it. But anyways, during writing of my book, no. See, price trend can be up or leading into the pattern. Downward breakout target. Megaphone tilted up. Refer to the figure above. Touches volume breakout. Downward 52% of the time. So it's a 50-50. 50% of the time it breaks out down. 50% of the time it breaks out up. Buy at the third touch. So what, like 1, 2, 3, you buy at the third touch. What do we got going on here with Metis? Or no, with Bitcoin, I'm sorry. We've got 1, 2, 3 touches. Hey, you would buy the third touch. That's what it says, right? Or maybe you would sell at the third touch. 1, 2, 3, maybe you'd sell. I don't know. Measure rule. Refer to the 2 figures on the right. Okay, so you would do from the low to the high of the pattern. Okay, so the measure rule here, if this were to be a megaphone, and I think it is a broadening wedge pattern, the bottom to the top of the pattern essentially is what you would measure from, and then you would put it at this. That's your measure move. That would take Bitcoin all the way up to about 131K, which that makes sense. I think Bitcoin's going to go to 123 to 142K by the end of January, so that fits right in the middle there. We look back over here, information trades. Since the bottom trend line slope upwards, do not short this pattern at the top trend line. Go long at the bottom when price bounces off the bottom trend line heading up. So it's a good time to go long, probably is what he's saying here. When price touches the bottom trend line for the 3rd time and begins rising, buy. This is for aggressive traders because the breakout is often downwards. For aggressive traders, in other words, for risky traders, okay? The breakout is often downwards is what he says, but 52% of the time is what he actually has. The partial rise works 60% of the time. Partial rise is this. Let's see if we actually have a partial rise. Let's see if we do. I would love it if we have a partial rise, but I don't think we do. It doesn't look like it to me. Let's go on the daily actually. It's that 4 hour. That was just too spread out. It's giving me a headache. Let's look at this here. So here's your megaphone, right? From the low to that low there. Oh, that is a partial rise. Look at that, guys. That is a partial rise. So a partial rise is where you reach for the trend line, but you don't hit it. And that's a partial rise. That's exactly what that is. And he's saying here, a partial rise works 60% of the time. So that adds to the potential of it breaking to the upside. Partial decline works 65% of the time. Being that it does break down 52% of the time, it breaks out 48% of the time, it makes sense that the decline, the partial decline might work. Or no, it's not a partial rise, is it? This would be a partial decline. Okay, so this is a partial decline. It's not a partial rise, actually. I'm pretty sure. Let's just make sure. Hold on. And it works 65% of the time. Okay. So reverse it. A partial rise would be bad. A partial decline is good, I think, actually. Let's see. Partial decline, yes, where it reaches for the trend line, but it doesn't get there. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure. So that works 65% of the time. Okay, that's good. So 65% of the time, when you get a partial decline, which this is, it works, and you move up higher out of it. You break out to the upside. So I'm assuming that's what he's saying here. For upward breakouts, the best performing patterns are those with an intermediate term between 3 to 6 months. Oh wow, move leading to the pattern. An intermediate term between 3 to 6 months, move leading to the pattern. Well, I wouldn't say it was 3 to 6 months. It was more like 3 weeks. Downward breakouts do better with short-term moves, less than 3 months leading into the pattern. Okay, so based on that, then statistically, we are to break to the downside because it didn't take us long to break to move up here, right? It took us 9 days really to move up here. Throwbacks, hurt performance, blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay, I think we've figured out everything we need to see. So I don't know, man. I don't know if that gave us an insight really as to what we're to expect. I like that we have the partial declines, but generally speaking, when you get these partial declines, right, whenever you have this trend line like this and you reach for it and you miss it, generally you don't get 2 attempts, it's just 1. And being that this took a very short amount of time to make this pattern happen, statistically speaking, at least by Thomas Bulkowski's words, that'd be more likely that we break out to the downside. The only issue that I have is if we break out to the downside, I don't see us hitting the measure move to the downside, right? The measure move to the downside would be like all the way down at 75K. And it's possible, right? A move down to 75K wouldn't be too crazy because that would be basically back at these highs, but I just don't see that happening personally. I mean, that would hurt, that would crush the rest of the market, in my opinion. Anything's possible, though. I want to see real quick continuations and reversals for the pattern to break out upward. For the patterns which break out upward, 81% of them act as continuations of the prevailing price trend. Okay, that's cool. So generally speaking, if we were to break out upwards, we would lead into the pattern upwards, is what that's saying. 81% of the time, when you break out of this broadening wedge pattern upwards, you lead into it moving upwards, is what that's saying. So that's nice, actually. That's not too bad at all. Those continuations tend to outperform reversals with gains averaging 42% versus 35% respectively. For those which break out downward, 81% of those act as reversals of the prevailing price trend. Continuations tend to outperform reversals. Okay. So if it were to be a reversal, reversals are underperformers of the breakouts, where the upwards breakouts are the overperformers. Continuations also work best for those, but only by 1 percentage point, 13% for continuous versus. Okay. Oh, okay. So it's not too significant, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to make out of that, man. I think we all just learned a little bit more about broadening wedges, but we didn't really figure out too much what to expect with Bitcoin. I think we know what to expect if we go to the downside versus we go to the upside, right? Being that now that we understand that if this were to be a reversal, right, it's a broadening wedge pattern. You moved up into it. So if you were to break out to the downside, that would be a reversal pattern. We know that reversals are not as strong, apparently. That's what we just read, as breaking out to the upside would be leading into the pattern like this. So as a continuation, it's more reliable. As a reversal, it's less significant. So if we were to break out to the downside, then having a less significant breakout move, it could stand to reason that Bitcoin could move to 85 to 87K, but it probably doesn't see a full-on measure move like it would if it broke out to the upside, because a reversal, again, as he said here, is not the performer, right? It's the continuations that are the performers. So I don't know if that all makes sense, but we went on a bit of a strange detour to the land of the ascending wedges. We're going to delete that now and get back to this. Pipu is a scam, by the way. Pepe Unchained is a scam. I made a video on that, but I don't really know if I have anything else I want to say, guys. I just wanted to address this pattern. I wanted to address the potential of us breaking out to the upside. It seems that really, after all that analysis, I would say it's like a 50-50 chance we could break out to the upside or the downside. I do like that we have the partial declines. I do like that, but 2 of them is a bit weird. Normally you get 1 and that's it, and then you move up. The fact that we came back down, that's a little bit discouraging. So, you know, if we continue to close days lower, that could signal that we do go lower. It's just odd that we keep moving lower and our volume's dying off. Like, we're having such a significant move to the downside with such insignificant volume. To me, it just feels like we should rip this up to the upside. But you never know, man. You never really know. We look at the daily RSI, very low. Again, at these areas that you could find support, you found support before. We look at the 4-hour RSI, you've got higher lows here, higher lows in the price. I would just think that, you know, with this double bottom, we probably do move up, but you never know, man. Weekly RSI, very bullish. Very, very bullish. Time will tell. Let's look at this low to high real quick, and then we'll end the video. Low to high here. I think Bitcoin, yeah, I mean, if it were to move down, man, I don't know. I would just not like to see it break. Really, is that what we would not want to break? I wouldn't like to see it break below 90K, truthfully. We break below 90K. I know I was saying 85 to 87K were the likely targets, but it's completely possible we could even drop to like 80K or even lower than that. Yeah, it is. It's completely possible. So let's not do that. Let's move up from here. It's not clear as to what the direction is as far as the technicals go. My gut tells me that we found the low, but my gut can be wrong, man. Who cares about my gut? It's very possible that we could go down to 87K, find support there, and then move up. Time will tell. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It is Tuesday, right? We are at the 1 day, 17 hours left of this. Let me just see. Breaking out of this upward trend on the 3-day, aren't you? I don't know if I like that, man. Let's see. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I don't know. I don't know, guys. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope I'm wrong, but it actually is kind of looking like it wants to go down. But I'm not going to make that call personally. I'm calling for us to find support here and moving up. But I am a little bit worried. Again, I don't think we're going to move down here. It's just a possibility, but it's looking like a somewhat real possibility. So anyways, guys, I'm going to end the video there with this very unclear prediction as to where I think the price is going to go. Just more, I think, identifying what the expectations could be if we break out of this to the downside, if we break out of it to the upside. If we break out of it to the downside, we would probably see prices below about 92K. We get below 92K, we're breaking out of this to the downside. If we break out of this to the upside, well, I mean, we'll be at new all-time highs, so we'll know by then. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Regardless, I do believe Bitcoin will be worth $120,000 to $140,000 by the end of January. I would expect that we make this move. We're at 93K now, and this is also why I don't think we're going to move down right now, is I think by the end of the year, I would suspect that Bitcoin makes a move up to about 120K. But we'll see. Time will tell, man. It's the 25th of, it's the 24th of December. Bitcoin can't move to 120K in that amount of time. Well, here on this right here, it moved up, in 9 days. If it's the 24th right now from that low, 9 days from now, puts us on the 1st of January. Okay, so maybe not in 9 days, but in 8 days, I mean, if we were to make the same move, instead of on the 9th day, we went to where it was on the 8th day there, that top right there, That'd put Bitcoin all the way up at about 124K. It's very possible. In fact, we did this exact move coming into this consolidation phase. So we are seeing volume die off. Volume's coming to an end. We are probably at the end of this consolidation phase. We'll move up here any day now. So hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.